Yo, what's up guys? It's your boy RedCloud. Today I'm going to be showing you guys how I made my first 1 million gold in World of Warcraft for the War Within. It's going to be a concept video, which means that we're going to be talking about a ton of different topics on how I made my gold and maybe some suggestions for how you can make your own gold and other tips and tricks that might help you out in your World of Warcraft journey. Let's get into it. Alright guys, so I want to let you know that I do stream every day at twitch.tv/redcloud. I stream every day over on Twitch. The link will be in the description below. I'd seriously appreciate it if you guys would go check that out. Feel free to like this video and subscribe as well. I'll be making content on World of Warcraft and the War Within, gold making guides, PvP, PvE content, and other tips and tricks that I find, and also news as well. Alright guys, so in this video we're going to be talking about a few different topics. I'm going to be covering passive income in World of Warcraft, things that we do every single day that will generate us gold no matter, even if we really want to. All we have to do is literally interact with the game. That can be, a whole assortment of topics. Then we're going to be talking about active farming, active gold making, and things that we have to actually interact with outside of normal gameplay for World of Warcraft. The first thing we're going to talk about super quick are add-ons, and add-ons are not necessary to make gold at all. It does kind of give you a little bit of an edge though compared to people who are not using an add-on. Okay, so before in the auction house it was really bad. You really needed an add-on to post things. Nowadays you don't really need that, but I will show you guys Auctionator, which definitely does speed things up quite a lot. So Auctionator, that's TSM. Auctionator is this. So Auctionator pretty much has these tabs that lets you post and cancel things, and also go shopping and save lists of things that if you want to buy and sell. Like if I want to look up all of the cards that make up the decks of the Dark Moon trinkets, I can just make a list of each of those, right? So that's super easy if you are specifically buying, like, let's say herbs or ores or whatever it is, right? So that's very great. It also will find the item that you're trying to sell. You just click it here, it all comes up, and then you would post it if you're trying to undercut somebody, and you can pick the gold level at which you want to set it at. So Auctionator, literally I would recommend that one to everybody. I would say if you're not using Auctionator, you're kind of like wasting a lot of time in the auction house. Okay, so that's number one thing. Second add-on we're going to talk about, this one is way more advanced, but honestly it's really not. So TSM is the add-on that we're going to be using for the example here. Pretty much TSM, it is an insane add-on. It tells you which items are profitable to purchase, which items you should be selling right now. On their website they have a whole list of categories that show which items are increasing in demand, which ones are decreasing in demand, and then they have a inventory ledger which tells you everything that you own on all of your characters. Then revenue, which is what you have made in X amount of days. So it goes from 3 days all time to 60 days pretty much. So in the past 3 days, by the way, I've made 680k, and then in the past 7 days I've made 1 mil, and then since War Within has released, which was less than 30 days ago, I've made 1.6 mil. And I am a player who has just come back to World of Warcraft. I had no previous gold on my characters besides maybe 20,000 gold on a different server, and I have made all of this gold on my own. I was not given any gold except for Couch gave me 30k. Everything else I've made on my own. So pretty much Auctionator and TSM are fantastic. The only thing about TSM though, guys, if you guys are using Trade Skill Master, you'll need to download the add-on first, and then you'll also need to actually go ahead and download their desktop add-on in order to get the data from the WoW servers or however they do it to your actual client. So that's how it works. You need to actually download that. So if that does not interest you, then I would highly suggest not downloading TSM. But TSM does work with a bunch of add-ons as well. So it is pretty cool. You can literally go ahead and run a cancel scan. It won't undercut things or won't cancel things if it's not set to a specific price, or it'll cancel things if it can repost them at a higher price. Pretty much like right now, I was undercut on a bunch of stuff. And what's awesome, instead of clicking manually for canceling things, you can go ahead and create a shift command or a macro, and it will let you cancel everything just by scrolling your mouse wheel up and down. And that way you save a lot of time and you can get back to gold farming, get back to running those delves, get back to, into the raid or whatever it is that you need to do, right? So that's the beauty of Trade Skill Master, because it does really make things as fast as possible. And the same thing with posting as well. As soon as I'm ready to post some stuff, if I want to skip the feast because I need those for raid, I just go ahead and skip those, and then I just post all of my cards and decks that I want to sell. And that's Trade Skill Master. Those are the add-ons that I would recommend when you're trying to make gold. All right, guys, so let's get into passive versus active forms of making gold in the game. We're going to talk about passive incomes, passive ways that you make gold casually by, just doing everyday normal things on World of Warcraft, whether that be questing, gearing up your character, doing world quests, whatever it may be. We'll go over a quick list of them. Number one thing, in no particular order, they're not like set to find in what makes you the most gold, just so you know. But number one thing that everybody does is quest. So questing gives you gold, as you guys know. Let's do this real quick. This is a random guy I've never talked to, or commoner. Okay, so as you can tell, you accept this guy's quest, you go talk to this dude, he gives you 2 gold. Okay, he gives you just 2 gold for no reason, besides completing the quest. And when you're level, 70 to 80, I mean, the quests are giving you like 50 to 100 to 150 to 200 gold sometimes, each quest that you're doing. And you're doing like, hundreds of quests at a time. So just by questing alone, you're going to walk out from, doing dungeons and doing quest dungeons and stuff like that. And, questing for leveling, you're going to make thousands of gold straight off the top. So that is, without a doubt, one of the easiest ways to make gold. The other way you can make gold in the game, similar to questing, of course, is dailies. Okay, so dailies in Castle Guard, dailies in War Within. I mean, we've got dailies here that are giving us almost 900 gold each time we complete them. The weekly World Boss event gives us 1,000 gold. And if you do it within, if you do it on war mode, if you turn on war mode down here, you get 10% more loot when you're doing this stuff. So if you don't mind the world PvP, you can go ahead and make some more gold that way. Right. Then another thing that maybe you might not be able to participate in because of your class is bonus rolls in dungeons and in looking for raid. So what I like to do, especially if I'm playing a tank or a healer, I will randomly queue up for random heroics. Sometimes if I'm really just bored, I will randomly, become a tank or a healer, and then you get these bonus satchels. Okay, so you'll get bonus satchels for randomly running normal dungeons and looking for raid. And those satchels will often actually include these like augment runes. And the augment runes, let's see, augment runes, here we go. Crystallized augment rune. You get like 2 or 3 or 4 of these per bag, by the way, and gold. All right. Not to mention, you also get the possibility of getting rare mounts, rare items, anything that Blizzard deems fit in those bags is available. But these are available in them as well. These are guaranteed in them, usually 2 to 3 per bag. All right. And these are selling for 1,400 gold each. And, you also get 1,000 gold for pretty much doing the actual instance itself through that bag. And so you're walking out with like 5k just from doing one dungeon that you didn't need to do, that took you 5 minutes, 10 minutes to complete, because everybody's out gearing heroics now, right? So it's a great way to make gold. If you guys never thought of that, you should definitely take advantage of that if you're a tank or a healer, or if there's for some reason ever a need for extra DPS. Right, guys, so another thing that a lot of people may overlook, especially when you're first starting the game, is bind on equip greens and blues. Okay, so when you are questing, when you're killing mobs, I promise you, you have already picked up 1 or 2 or 10 of these bind on equip greens. These greens, especially when you're level 80, if you're out there questing in the world or, leveling up, they will give you thousands of gold if you know where to look. Okay, so if you go ahead and get a drop, a bind on equip, I would highly suggest, even if you're a disenchanter or an enchanter, do not disenchant it. Okay, it will sell for way more gold on the auction house if you go ahead, keep it in your bag, come over to the auction house and list it. Okay, some of them, like I said, it depends, but pretty much you could vendor it for 31 gold, or you could put it on the auction house even for 12 hours and you pay a little fee for it. If it doesn't sell after, you can just vendor it if you just want some gold. But that's what I do. Literally, like, I will go ahead and take any BoE green that I find, whether it is from an old dungeon like a transmog BoE, I will post it on the auction house, or if it's a BoE from current content, I'll post it on the auction house, and then I will go ahead and just give it a few days. If it doesn't sell by a few days, I'll either vendor it or send it to my disenchanter, and then I'll sell the materials for it. So literally the easiest gold, and you literally could be sitting on like thousands and thousands of gold if you have bind on equips, especially if you guys get necklaces. Okay, necklaces are super expensive right now. If it's a 564, even a 558, people will buy 558s. But a 564 necklace, I mean, you can tell like the cheapest one is 6,500. People buy the best stats, critical and haste ones, for like 40k. All right, and the same thing with like rings. Rings are expensive. Shields are expensive. You know what I mean? All that stuff. Cloaks are expensive. Anything in the miscellaneous, from what I can tell, is expensive. Okay, so you need to go ahead and definitely not vendor that stuff and make yourself some good gold. Okay, all right, guys, next thing that we're going to talk about, everybody gets this done every single day, is reagents. Regents, I have no idea how to say it, I'm not gonna lie. Pretty much every item in the game is important, if you guys didn't know. Even maybe not the great stuff, okay, I'm not gonna sugarcoat that, but the small things, little green stuff, little leather, crafting regent. Okay, you see that, guys? On any item you ever see that says crafting regent, golden rule of thumb, never vendor it. All right, unless for some reason it vendors more than what it's worth, but most of the time it doesn't work that way. That's not how it works, right? So you're gonna do a whole bunch of different things, quests, satchels, little hidden loot caches, a whole bunch of different things, whether you are an enchanter or a troll druid, whatever it is that you are. Okay, you're gonna go ahead and find this while you are traveling in the game. All right, so what you want to do, you want to sell that stuff. Okay, if you're not going to use it for some super important craft in your arsenal of things that you're working on, go ahead and sell it. If you're new to the game, go ahead and sell it. Okay, because I promise you guys, you'll make a lot of gold. And my girlfriend, who's brand new to WoW, okay, I've given her like maybe like 30,000 gold or something like that. She's made like 90 or 100k already, and she doesn't do any farming like actively or anything like that. She doesn't do anything like I do or anything. She's made like 100k doing just pretty much selling things that she has found on the ground, and a few different things from like equips that she's received. Really just that simple. So sell regents. All right, guys, last few things. Transmogs, like I said, binding equips, sell those. Older transmogs you sell for quite a lot, even if they're super ugly, people like them. And then the other thing, when you are in dungeons, you will get gold for completing dungeons, and then just by simply looting gold off of mobs. All right, so those are the few passive topics that I found that I could think of. If you guys have any other passive ideas for income in World of Warcraft, comment them in the section below. Help out the community here, and just let us know. So, all right, with that being said, let's get into the active methods of making gold in World of Warcraft. This is where we can have a little bit more fun. This is going to be stuff that I've made videos on. If you guys want to go check out any of the videos that I have or will be talking about, please feel free to do so after this video. All of these things, by the way, will always change. So any method that you think of, any like category, like a cloth farm, can change like location, type of cloth, XYZ. So always keep your mind open about stuff like that. Don't like, people will be like, oh, I tried it once, and they literally never tried it a single time, and they will just like make you feel like it's not worth it. But here's the thing, all up to you to decide whether you want to make gold or not. Okay, people will tell you not to do something in life all the time, but I promise you guys, listen to the advice, keep your mind open when it comes to things, and you'll make gold. I promise you. That's how I made the gold, and that's why you can't be afraid to like try things, even if maybe they're not popular, or maybe they might not be working as efficiently, or if people say that they're not working. First things first, obviously we've got cloth farming. There's a lot of cloth that is needed in the game for items and different types of crafts and a whole bunch of stuff. So cloth farming is super important. I made a video about that a while ago. It's right here if you guys want to go check it out. It's a really easy cloth farming guide that you can do, and it's just at the beach, so you literally just go here and you don't have to do anything else besides kill mobs, loot them, and have the tailoring specialization, and that's it. So once that's done, you'll literally be able to farm cloth, make like honestly, cloth even went up in price recently, so it's probably even more gold. It was like 100k an hour or something, so that's insane. The other thing is the Tinderbox farming. This is the first video that I was showing you guys earlier, where you can farm a specific delve, repeat it, complete it in under 2 minutes, 3 minutes, and then rinse and repeat. You're not always going to get a Tinderbox, but I promise you guys you will get one if you continue to do it and keep trying and don't give up. And don't come into the YouTube comment section and just say that it didn't work after your first time. Trust me, it works. You don't give up. The other thing, obviously, you've got skinning. Skinning is very important because skinning, we all need skinning most of the time for mail and leather workers. A very easy concept. You kill mobs, you loot their materials, and then you skin them. Super easy. You get a lot of bind and equip items for this. And then also at the end of the day, you will be getting the opportunity to get crackling shards, which you can get a mount for, but also just simple, you get the actual materials you came for. And then on top of that, like I said, bind and equip items that will increase the amount of gold that you're making per hour or per 15 minutes or however long that you're farming. All right, guys. And then of course we've got professions. Professions are a fantastic way to make gold. They are a very active way to make gold, and passively as well. You can kind of just log in once and do a few things, and then that's it. You don't have to really do much. But more on an active note, you can create these items that you can sell. Unfortunately, a lot of professions right now, I'm not trying to scare anybody, they're pretty expensive to get into, and they really, really, really don't make a ton of money unless it's the correct type of specialization that you have in one, to the point where it's like maxed out. So it can take quite a long time to actually start making a lot of money on professions. It's not like super crazy, but like pretty much, like, let's say if you spent 30k on crafting and buying the recipe for an item like these like cloaks, right? These PvP weapons and gear and stuff like that, PvP gear. You could go ahead and craft it afterwards, and you'd make a lot of gold without using concentration. So then you'd be like, okay, that's great. That's good money, right? So there's ways you can do it, but you do have to sink gold into it in order to make money with professions, really, at the majority of the time, except for, of course, gathering professions and for the tailoring specialization. So I'll make a guide on how to actually set up the cloth specialization later, but we'll get into that another time. All right, guys, another way you can make gold in the game, of course, is flipping on the auction house. Maybe you could call it manipulating the auction house, but not really. Manipulating the auction house is something that you do when you have a lot of gold. You can change an entire pricing of a market, XYZ things, right? But what we're doing is called auction house flips. So auction house flips would be really good if you have trade skill master. It will literally go ahead and run a buyout scan of things that are underpriced that are worth actually a lot more. You can go ahead and buy all that stuff if you want to, and then sell it yourself for the actual retail market value of what it's worth. The other thing that I have been doing, like for example, I've just been looking at a few different like items that are normally expensive, and then how you can make those items. You know what I mean? If since the crafting method has been around for a bit with like the crafting order stuff, you can sometimes go ahead and just like buy items, buy materials, and like submit a crafting order, and then go ahead and get that item and then sell it. So sometimes you can do that with enchants, sometimes you can do that with a few different things. But the other thing that I've been doing, like for example, I've been buying the cards that you need to make these decks, and then just buying them in bulk, because you can see here I just sold like 7 of them, right? A good amount of them. And so what I do is go ahead and like look up the radiances. So pretty much, you know, this is super simple, but you need 9 of these. You need 1 of each of these to make one of the cards. So one of these, let's say an average of, let's say like 55 gold, right? Or 50 gold, just for the sake of an average. 50 times 9, that's 45. So for example, it'd be about like 450 gold for purchasing this. Just a rough example, not actually what it's worth. It's 450 gold. And like you just saw here, guys, when you're going to the buy, that Radiance one is worth 1,000. So we're literally turning 450, maybe 500 gold into 1,000 gold. Straight up, just super simple. Same thing with Vivacity. You can do the same thing here. Vivacity is even better because it's 1,500, and with the shopping, you can go ahead and purchase it. It's even cheaper to buy these. So auction house flipping is definitely a thing. You can do that for the whole bunch of items that you see. If you are a specialist in like mining and you see ore that is worth like, you know, 70 gold and it's listed for 30, just go ahead and buy it. Go ahead and flip it. You don't need to like let someone else like take advantage of that. You could buy the ore for yourself and hog it, but trust me guys, there's a lot of ways to make gold with just literally looking at the prices of things. One of the things that you can also do, guys, if you are a raider, I'm not sure why this says item level 571. This was a heroic piece that dropped for me. I sold it for 180k recently. So there is bind on equip farming for the heroic raid that is out currently. You can even do it for mythic, but much harder for mythic, only because you actually have to clear the first boss and the second boss, I believe, to do it. And then essentially what you're doing is you're using the lockout of someone going in, clearing the mobs, and then hoping that you guys get a bind on equip item. These bind on equip items, if you guys want to go check them out real quick, trust me dudes, there is a lot of them that are being sold, and they are expensive. 616, 616, that's the item level that you want to look for. But if you get a 603 piece, I mean, you're still walking away with like 80k, 60k, 50k. All right, but if you get one of these like bigger pieces, you're definitely gonna walk away with quite a lot of gold. That's a WoW token. That's a whole other month of playing World of Warcraft for free. Bind on equips, if you guys are raiding, definitely suggest selling that. Unless you of course really need it for your items, you know, obviously, I would definitely suggest selling that. All right guys, so we're gonna get into 2 ways that you can make gold just from actually being good at the game. Yeah, I'm gonna go into that real quick. 1, you can sell PvP carries. If you guys are good and have really good gear and someone is looking to get conquest gear for the week, go ahead and sell them carries, man. 1,000 gold per win or 500 gold per win. Everybody's got gold nowadays, and honestly people are willing to pay for it if they're looking for a boost. So if you're really good at 2s, or if you got another buddy that can do 3s with you and you guys can solo carry those wins just for that person, then I would definitely suggest making that gold. And you can do that on cooldown. You can, as long as you're PvPing, you can go ahead and keep doing that. There's no limit for it. You can keep doing that with multiple clients, and you can make a lot of gold making those PvP 2v2s or even battleground wins happen. Then the other thing is delve carries. Some people buy them. I'm not saying that you should buy them, but some people actually do buy them because, you know, they're struggling to get through a delve. It's You know, delves aren't the easiest thing, even with brand being like level 30 or whatever. So people will buy a tier 8 boost essentially in order to get themselves higher geared. So you can charge however much you want, but you know, you could potentially be charging like 10k to 50k depending on how much you need to be boosting, how long it's going to take for you to get them to tier 8. My friend just got like 250k gold from some dude who was like, I need someone to help me clear a delve. Like, he literally just traded him like 250k. So it does happen. All right, get lucky, and I promise you guys your WoW lives will change. Well, guys, that's how I made my first million in World of Warcraft. I'm at 1.6 mil right now. My goal right now is to actually hold that 1 million, because even though I made like 1.6 mil, I spent, you know, 500k of it, and you know, it's divvied up into other characters and all these other things. But I want to actually see that 1 mil when I go into my bag. If you guys like this video at any given time, feel free to like it, subscribe to the YouTube channel, share this video with anybody that is interested in making gold and understanding a little bit more of the concepts that are in the game that you can take advantage of. And also feel free to comment any other ones that I missed in the section below. I seriously appreciate you guys and your positive feedback. Lastly, feel free to check out my stream at twitch.tv/RedCloud. All right, guys, I'll catch you guys later. Peace out.